Oh, Marianne, you're already hitting the hard hitting questions, huh? It's not an easy move. It's not a simple answer. None of this is simple. None of this is um it's not easy to fix. I've been doing hours of research on this, trying to figure out how to explain this tonight. I've been looking at videos over the past week and trying to understand how all this makes sense. We're going to talk about this beef crisis we got going on here, cattle crisis, something that's been coming to a head for decades, right? It's not as simple as just saying, how could you betray farmers, Donald Trump? How could you do this? You got to think about it, man. The farmers exist, the consumer exists. You got to think about both. Sometimes people are going to lose over here. Sometimes people are going to lose over here, right? Sometimes the ranchers are going to suffer and consumers are going to benefit. Sometimes, and which we have been, consumers have been suffering while ranchers have been benefiting and also suffering at the same time because we tend to screw over everyone in America so we can sell out to other countries. And we're going to talk about it, man. This is going to be an in-depth discussion about what's going on with this cattle crisis. This is not a simple, easy answer. I can't sit here and say Biden screwed us over. It's not just Biden. This is a long time coming, and we're reaching a point where we have to make some pretty hard decisions. Okay, really hard decisions. Um, is it a win? I would say it's a temporary band-aid for an issue, and it's like you got two bullet holes in the country, right? Two bullet holes. One of them's gushing, so you got to put a tourniquet on that one. And the other one is starting to bleed out too, but not quite as bad. So now we got to slap a good old Band-Aid on that one. However, we still got to do some surgery here and there, but the patient's dying. The patient is dying, and we got to do whatever we can to mitigate the pain as best as possible. There is a way to fix this, but is America going to do it? Can politicians even do it? They have to undo so much. And a lot of this depends on the states as well. You can't just say the federal government is supposed to come in here and fix this, right? Because a lot of these policies aren't just the federal government. It's a lot about the states as well. The states, the counties that these ranchers are living in, the taxes they're having to deal with, the policy, the environmentally safe policies that we now have in place that also hurt them. It's not just like one. I can't even say the Democrat Party caused all this. It's one of those things where, really, man, it's like maybe I can blame the Democrat Party. Honestly, it's a very complicated situation. So we're gonna spend a good time talking about this. Mary Ann, are you by any chance are you a rancher, or do you know anyone that's ranching or ranching? Is that how you say it? That owns a ranch or anything like that? By the way, guys, please hit that like button as y'all are coming in here. We're gonna get to it, man. There's a lot we got to discuss here today. May not be the entertaining Antifa fighting like we saw in Portland last night, but we got to talk about this issue, and I really think Alex Jones going to fight Tim Pool. Stop it. Oh, is he going to fight Tim Pool? He ain't going to do shit. They're going to sit in each other's studios, have live streams back and forth. They're going to make a ton of money. They're going to have a ton of live streams, tons of content. Their X accounts are going to skyrocket. They ain't going to do nothing. They may have a debate. I mean, look what just happened with Andrew Wilson and Candace Owens. While I truly believe Andrew Wilson got the point across that Candace Owens is just grifting and she's just lying to the people, has no evidence for any of her claims. I agree he got that point across. However, It seems like, we're right back where we started, or we already know she was full of shit. It's just hopefully some people on her side realized it and woke up to it. And other than that, we really didn't win. We all lost, especially as Charlie Kirk supporters. I mean, what do you do, man? What do you do? Especially when Candace Owens is like on the brink of kicking everyone out of her house because it is her house, right? And then on top of that, she's doing everything she can to avoid a lawsuit. It's like you can't lie to the people. You can't admit to certain things or else your whole career goes out the window. So she just played it safe. She didn't want to give nothing. Okay, Marianne, you said, no, I'm not a rancher. I'm a huge supporter. Okay, I was just wondering if anyone has any experience with ranching, which I don't even know if that's the term for it. um, if that's the term for it, or like running a ranch, you know, I'd like to hear y'all's opinion on this, of course. There's cattle to slaughter, but the slaughter plants are decreasing. The slaughterhouses control the amount of animals killed that make it to the counter. Farmers are the ones hurting. Well, not just farmers, right? Consumers are hurting as well. And I'm no super expert about this, all right? I'm not going to tell you guys that I know everything that we're going to discuss today. I'm just going to tell you that I've been researching this over the weekend, and today I spent several hours looking into this, watching videos about it, hearing both sides of the aisle, looking into the history, like how cattle has declined over the past 60 years or so, right? Like and how much we import, by the way. So let me show you this real quick. This is the cattle inventory, right? This is the past 60 years. Cattle inventory in the 70, 75. That's where we hit like an all-time high. Ever since then, it's just been going down in cycles, right? It goes down, goes up a little bit, goes down, up a little bit, goes down, up, down, down. Now we're here at the lowest point in 75 years, apparently. All right, so that's a pretty bad chart when you look at it, man. 132 million back in the 75, and then all the way down to 86 million. Basically less than half. Well, a little over half what we had back then. But that's over the course of 60 years. Let's not forget that. This is something that, well, that's the thing. You said it's hard to make a profit. The problem is they're actually making more profits than ever. But even though they're making more profits than ever, the costs of running their farm and their ranches are also skyrocketing. This is due to inflation, massive inflation under the Biden administration during COVID, right? I mean, look at the costs and the returns that they're having, meaning like they're making more money than ever, but they're also spending more to operate the ranches. So even though they're making more profits than ever, they're still suffering. This is because of inflation. This is because of the cost of living skyrocketing over COVID and the Biden administration. That is something we can definitely point to when we talk about Biden and say, is it his fault? Is it his fault, really? Let's not forget that there was a massive drought during around 2022, I think. There were around 2022, 2023. There was a massive drought that happened, which is also what led to a lot of cattle dying off. Unfortunately, right? There was a massive drought. They didn't have enough to eat. The grass was dying. So they were malnourished and they were dying off. They had to kill some of them. Dude, and it was a very small number of like the government intentionally killing them. It was a very small number. It was less than 100. However, there was also implementations of policies that basically said that the cow's poop is too environmentally dangerous. Like it's hurting the environment. Their poop is hurting the environment. Their farts are hurting the environment. The cow farts. Oh, we got to stop that. We got to stop that. Now, I was being very fair when I was doing this research. I was trying to figure out what exactly happened over the course of the Biden administration to where everything just went wonky, right? On top of all of that, 2023, we started importing in mass. I mean, look at that. And we're still at that rate right now. But somewhere in 2023, we just doubled, tripled the amount of beef that we import. Now, we're talking about we're talking about a 60, I think it's a 60-day or 90-day extension that Donald Trump is putting in place. It's a very short temporary period where we have an influx of supply, right? To go to the grocery stores. The point of this is to simply make it easier on the consumer. Because, like I said, both sides are suffering. The ranchers are suffering, the consumers are suffering. Sometimes someone has to suffer and the other one doesn't suffer as much, right? So the consumers suffer when the prices go up, and the ranchers, well, they get more profits and they're suffering less. However, because of the price of taxes, the cost of all these materials to do the farming, the feed, all that stuff, they're suffering just as much as the consumer is. But if we lay off the consumer a little bit, well, now the rancher really suffers. They double suffer. So it's like you cannot fucking win, bro. This is a very challenging issue to tackle. It really is. And you really have to think, man, like, how do you tackle this? Because you can't magically grow the herd. You can't import cattle from other countries. There was something else about that, like that they eat different food or something like that, or something's different about them where you can't bring them over to this country and then if they just magically work, right? It's not as simple as that. You're right. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. So it's kind of like, okay, okay, the consumer's been suffering for a year and a half now. Why don't we ease it up on them just for 60 days? Now, here's the caveat to that. Will we actually see a difference? Are we going to go to the grocery store and is beef going to be cheaper? Or are these companies just going to be reaping in the profits, enjoying it while it lasts? I'm talking about the big companies, the ones that are actually importing, these giant companies, not the little ranchers who are not going to import. They're going to sell locally, right? And these other grocery stores who already have a razor thin margin. Remember, I told you guys, Walmart basically monopolizes the whole grocery store market because they have all these other products in their store, right? Which, by the way, come from China. They have all these products in their store that enables them to actually make margins. They lose money on the grocery side, just like every other grocery store does. Most of these grocery stores do not actually make profits. Most of them are under. Sometimes they're a little bit over, right? When it comes to Walmart, though, they monopolize the market. They lose money on the groceries and they make tons of money on all this other Chinese made crap over here. And that's what they do, bro. So you have to understand that everyone is kind of suffering. Everyone is desperate for some relief right now. The consumers, the grocery stores, the big companies, the ranchers, the manufacturing plants. Tyson just closed down a big plant. Let's go ahead and get into this, all right? Because like I said, there's so much to talk about here, and we're going to break it all down tonight. So this is our secretary right here, right? She's the secretary of what is it, agriculture, something like that. She's the one who basically makes the decisions on what we're going to do when it comes to the beef and the prices and all this stuff. She doesn't control everything, but she has a big say so on whether or not we're going to be importing stuff or putting tariffs on certain things, I guess. I don't exactly know what her position does, but she is like the secretary of agriculture.
In America today is the direct result of a war on cattle by the previous administration, frankly, a war on agriculture and a war on farming in general. When you've got a prior administration that is basically blaming cattle for their crazy climate agenda, then you have a real problem. And you also
You do. Okay. We need to touch on this because it's not saying that Biden like killed a bunch of cattle because of farts, right? What we did is while the ranchers are already suffering, while we're already dealing with the drought, while there's already cattle dying in mass due to starvation, right? On top of that, we put policies in place that hurt the ranchers even more. We didn't give them any relief. We just hurt them even more. We stacked the pain on top of them. And so they suffered twice as much thanks to the Biden administration. And it just kept on stacking on top. And then all of a sudden they started importing 3 times as much from other countries while the ranchers were dealing with this. The ranchers got hit so hard during COVID, during the Biden administration. They got hit so hard that now Donald Trump is left with a mess. He's left with an absolute mess that you can't just fix with a snap of your finger. You just can't. Because when cattle dies off like that, it's a cycle of them breeding and then growing and then, aging and stuff like that. It's not something you can just fix, with a snap of a finger or a swipe of a pen on some policies.
Have you combined that with people are eating more beef today than ever before, which is actually really, really good news. President Trump's focus on our ranchers, on rural America, on rebuilding our food supply here continues to be a priority. The first time in American history in 2023, we became a net food importer, meaning that the Biden administration's policies basically wrecked what we were doing in America, and we started to import a lot more of our food. We cannot survive as a country, right? We will not know freedom unless we can feed and fuel ourselves.
Guess what else we imported? Guess what else? We imported illegal immigrant voters. We imported illegal immigrants. And you know what they brought? They brought the screwworm, which again is hurting cattle in this country. So ranchers are being hit. They're being hit by all. Listen, bro, they're being hit so hard. One thing the Trump administration did that also kind of stacked on this pain in the very beginning is we were subsidized. We see the Biden administration didn't want to fix the issues. They just wanted to throw tax dollars at it. Just throw tax dollars at it, right? And so when we had Doge going through cuts, in the very beginning, when Trump got in office, some of the cuts that we cut was the subsidizing of these farms and these ranchers. Not everyone was being subsidized by it, but a lot of the bigger ranchers were, and they were making a ton of money off of it. Well, guess what? We took that away from them to save tax dollars for the American people. And so now the bigger ranchers were suffering, and the market was kind of wonky after that.
That was Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins on this program last week. A record cattle shortage driving beef prices higher across the country. Now, President Trump posted on Truth Social on Friday announcing a deal that will allow up to 300,000 metric tons of ground beef to enter the country tariff-free over the next 90 days. Now, the president saying the deal will reduce prices for Americans. Some members, though, of the Republican Party say that's going to hurt American ranchers in the long run. I want to bring in North Carolina Congressman Mark Harris. He also sits on the House Agriculture Committee. Congressman, your thoughts on the president's announcement, and what does this mean for American ranchers? We know that the Cattle Association put out a statement, and many of these ranchers are frankly unhappy. They believe that they should be producing beef for this nation, and it should not be coming from other countries.
Cheryl, first of all, thank you for having me this morning. And listen, President Trump is exactly correct to be focused on trying to bring down the cost of groceries, and I recognize that. But I also understand that it's a very important matter when we start talking about the supply situation we have here. As Secretary Rollins talked about, the real issue here is that we have a huge shortage of our own cattle herds right here in America. And it's very important that we give our cattle producers and our ranchers the opportunity to rebuild those herds. That's the answer in the long term, is being able to make sure that we get our cattle industry back up to where it needs to be, because we're frankly not able to meet that demand that is there currently. But I think we've got to be very careful with the policies here, because in reality, we've got to make sure that we give. Too many cattle ranchers have just thrown up their hands and walked away, which is added to, as Secretary Rollins talked about, the previous administration wrecked the cattle industry in many ways. And then when you add that to the drought that they've lived through the rising fuel cost and feed cost and the expensive equipment they've been involved in, our ranchers are in a difficult space, and we need to be careful and realize that the food supply, we've got to make sure that we take care of American cattle so we're able to continue to produce. The answer will not be just trying to import our food in, for sure.
Well, yeah, how do we help these ranchers and these family farms? I mean, we focus so much on the big meat producers, but it's these small cattle producers that are really, supplying the herds, to be clear here, in particular in large parts of, say, Texas and Oklahoma. So what can we do for them? Because we know that we've tried, less regulation. We've tried to ease zoning requirements. What else would help them specifically from the government now so that they can at least make it through the next season, and then we can get the herds back up where they need to be, because they are low right now?
Well, I do think one of the things that we need to do in the House version of the Farm Bill that we just passed in here in 2026 included something. In fact, it was Representative Massey's
Thomas Massey
Act that we made it part of of the Farm Bill from the House. And what?
Let me tell you what, bro. Thomas Massey is living it up right now. He's all like, I passed the bill that was supposed to save everything, and then Donald Trump just effed it all up. This is just another one of Thomas Massey's things, man. He finally did one good thing, I guess. I don't even know if it really was a good thing, but he did something finally. I don't even know what other legislation he ever passed or ever came up with in the past, but apparently it worked out for him.
It does is basically begins to roll back more of those regulations that helps the small producers and all of those things, the small packaging areas, because right now they're the cattle producers in a pinch because the prices just continue to go up. And I think that the Prime Act, it's going to be very important for the Senate as they're working on their version of the Farm Bill right now for 2026, make sure that they include this pilot program in there that is going to really function on lowering unnecessary compliance costs. And this is what is hurting our producers. And so there are some very simple fixes like that we can work toward. But I think, again, long term, we've got to make sure.
So he's advertising the bill. And I think, I don't know, I haven't looked into the bill. I think what it's going to do is remove red tape. So that way the ranchers aren't suffering quite as much, because they are absolutely suffering. Now I'm going to show you sides from both sides, right? Let's hear from the ranchers themselves. There's multiple different ranchers that are feeling the heat. And so I want to hear from them. First, let me get to these super chats. I see y'all piling them in. Thank you for the happy poops. Hey, those aren't good for the environment, y'all. Don't be. Carla, Sue, thank you for the gold coin and the Sunday. Amy, thank you for the laughing disco. I appreciate it. Jeffrey, thank you for the $2, brother. So video is the one for the Antifa. Alrighty, cow fart. Wounds are us. Thank you for the 5 to cow farts. They haven't met my oldest son. Oh my goodness. He's not hurting the environment. He's only hurting your environment. Good remote. Thank you for all the happy poops. Oh boy. He's lighting it up in the chat. You're ruining the environment, sir. Biden's gonna have to shut you down. Andy, bro, thank you for the $20. He said, my family's been here since the early 1800s. We helped build the mother city of the Panhandle, Mobetti, Texas. Mobetti? I don't think I've ever heard of that. We've raised cattle for over 2 centuries. I think this is a temporary relief for consumers. I honestly trust Trump. Well, that's all it is. It's only a relief for consumers. This is not a relief for ranchers in any way, shape, or form. This hurts ranchers, and I get it. But everything is hurting ranchers. Everything is hurting consumers. So, something's got to give. There's got to be a give a little, take a little, a balance out, Beagle Mom coming with a 50. Oh, yeah. Nothing exciting to say. Just taking in the info tonight. Oh, Beagle Mom, thank you for being my sponsor, chilling with me right here on screen with me, which I'm pretty sure you're going to be sitting there with me all night long. So shout out to Beagle Mom, our sponsor of the show today. Steven Adams, thank you for the happy poop. All right, so let's hear from some of these ranchers. Let's actually hear from some of the ranchers and what they're dealing with. A lot of people are not going to be happy with this. I'll tell you that right now.
Carlson, we begin with our top story tonight. President Trump's new plan to bring down the price of beef at the grocery store is sounding off some alarms for farmers. He's planning to import a huge amount of cheap foreign beef.
Fox 9's Corin Hogger talked to Minnesota cattlemen today and shows us why they think this plan could backfire.
Everyday Americans are feeling pinched by prices at the grocery store, including a 70% increase since 2020 in the cost of ground beef. President Trump posted his plan to make it cheaper Friday, importing 660 million pounds of beef from other countries without charging tariffs. He says it'll be sold for 25% below market value, which could save shoppers and bankrupt ranchers.
If you look at it from a cattleman standpoint, it's really hurtful.
American ranchers are only raising about 86 million head of cattle this year, the lowest number in 75 years since Don Schiefelbein's parents just started out in Kimball. Supply and demand drove prices up, which led Don to invest in growing his business by 50%.
The market signal said, beef is high, let's expand in America. And so what we did is just responding to the economic signals.
But now he expects the president's new plan to suppress prices, making the business.
Is that really what you should have done? That's kind of like the Democrat way, oh, we're taking in all this revenue. Let's just spend it. Let's just spend the hell out of it. Hell, I would have. I don't know. I'm not a rancher, nothing like that. But when I see that you're getting a little bit of relief, I probably wouldn't be rushing to expand and to go with it. Because like I told you guys, their profits are higher than ever. They're making more money than ever. But the cost of maintaining their ranches, the cost of supplies, feed, diesel to get around and deliver these things, the packaging, the actual, all that stuff, that is what's costing a lot of money. And that's what's hurting them. Even though they're making profits more than ever, or they're not making profits, they're making more revenue than ever, but they're having to spend a lot more than ever also. So I don't know. Yeah, the profit is after expenses. I meant to say revenue. That's really what I meant to say.
Business unprofitable just as he started to sell off this year's herd. Aaron Chervstad worries about the bottom line at Hayday Farms in Pennington County too. He's not convinced consumers will get beef any cheaper, and he's worried about food safety with the foreign beef.
It will get mixed with our beef and sold as American beef, and the consumer will have no idea where their food is coming from.
Well, how do we know that? I don't know. I have no idea. That seems to be more speculation than anything.
Is a huge concern.
He says labeling standards could solve that issue, but it won't change the higher input prices cattle ranchers are paying for feed and fuel. And it won't help them with certainty for the future so they can decide whether the business should grow or keep shrinking.
This was just a gut punch, if you will, from the president to a base that has supported him strongly, and I mean strongly, over the last 10 to 12 years.
Well, what about the consumers? What about the consumers? We've been suffering the whole time as well. We've been suffering under Biden. We've been suffering under Trump too, because when you have inflation like that, the price of living only goes up. It does not go down, right? The cost of everything goes up. So we've been suffering for a very, very, very long time. And, I get it. Y'all been suffering too, but it's can we have a little relief as well?
The president's plan has not taken effect yet, and he hasn't even really said where or from whom this beef will be imported. But he is expected to sign an executive order implementing that plan by next week. In Kimball, Corin Hoggard, Fox 9.
Box 9. Funny how they always end it like that, you know? So
in the past,
what kind of stuff is happening here, right? There's a lot of issues coming out of this, and this isn't just from the Donald Trump thing right now. I'm talking about the issues coming out of the cattle crisis to begin with. Tyson, you know, because they can't handle the costs of all this, they're deciding to shift. They're trying to make changes. They're trying to move factories. They're trying to do whatever they can to pinch money, pinch dollars. And so they're making hefty decisions right now. And they just did some massive layoffs, and people are already feeling the heat.
Lightning struck the cattle industry with impacts on cattle raisers and consumers, turning now to From the Farm.
Our ag reporter Stu Ellis joins us in studio. Good morning, Stu. What are the details on this?
Well, East Central Illinois is not cattle country like the other 2/3 of the state. Cattle raisers in dozens of counties, north, northwest, west of here, are perplexed about their future. The announcement by Tyson Foods last week was that it was going to shut down its cattle processing plant at Joslyn, just east of the Quad Cities. And that was an earthquake in the Illinois cattle industry.
The Joslyn plant would process 3,000 head per day from Illinois, Iowa, and Missouri cattle farms. But the gates are closed. No more inbound cattle trucks. And the question is, where are those cattle going to go? The closures also come as the country deals with a 75-year low in beef processing supply. The Joslyn plant employed 2,500 people and had a daily harvest capacity of 3,000 head, the majority sourced from Illinois and Iowa. Many experts believe the market loss will take as much as $200 to $300 off per head. Illinois Beef Association.
Okay, I'm sorry. This reporter right here is miserable. Maybe I can find a different video. Listen, bro. I'm sorry. He's not there. He ain't there. He ain't all there. Let's try this one.
Business leaders in Henry County are stepping up to help the 2,500 people left out of work after the Tyson Foods plant in Joslyn closed. They're putting together a job fair. Our Quad Cities' Gavin Wadelick has tonight's top story.
Really came down to just putting our heads together for a couple of minutes after our morning SOS meeting, where all of our managers get together, and within just a couple of minutes we said this is what we wanted to at least reach out and try to do.
This was the moment that spawned the idea for a job fair. The Geneseo Chamber of Commerce and the Hammond Henry Hospital are working with local employers to get it done.
Knowing that a lot of us are married to the person that works there, have a cousin, have a neighbor, have a friend that works there. It's hitting home for a lot of us.
12 employers have already registered to be at the fair, offering 100 job openings with a variety of positions. Geneseo Chamber of Commerce's executive director says it's important to keep labor in the area.
There's just a trickle-down effect from that falling into our greater economy, and what that means, especially if people do have to leave to go find work elsewhere. That's why we're
what do you even do, right? A lot of these cities, and I think in this city in particular, all they had was this Tyson factory. And so you have all these people leaving. They're going to have, they have to find work somewhere else. There's not enough little stores around, and there's not enough money going around once Tyson gets out of there. This is the same thing like if you go to a big city like Seattle, where they tax everyone to death, and then the big companies leave, you know, the whole city suffers. Taxes increase for everybody. The cost of living increases. The job opportunities go down. Unemployment skyrockets. In somewhere like Seattle, it's harder to see the effect of a big business like Amazon and Starbucks leaving, right? But when you're in a tiny little town where this is the big business and this is where the money's coming from, this is the money maker that is circulating and keeping the economy afloat, right? Well, when this closes down and everyone loses their jobs, that money dries up. Every store in the area is going to close down. Even big companies such as like a restaurant like McDonald's or something like that, they'll even get the hell out of there. And that just means this entire city right here basically just disappears. This is a death sentence for small towns like this, you know? And then I don't know what I think this, when I was looking into these Tyson factories closing down, this is not the first one this year. We talked about one, I don't remember when exactly it was, maybe a year ago from now, but we talked about another one that closed down and that city just died. I mean, these cities dry up after these massive factories shut down. There ain't no jobs to go, because even those little tiny jobs are going to die out pretty quickly, you know? And people are going to say, well, I can't live here anymore. I can't sustain it. Now I got to get the hell out of here. I got to go back to the city. Got to go find some, I got to start all over, affordable housing. Got to do that. Got to go back to working at McDonald's again or something else, just something to get by. And so, yeah, it just adds to the list of ghost towns, man. You're going to see nothing but vacated buildings. Pretty crazy, man. It's pretty crazy how much these little towns rely on these factories. And then when they decide to close down, that's it. It's a death sentence. It's over.
Working so hard to try to keep as many of these jobs local as we can, because it will have a broader impact on the economy as a whole.
As of the 2023 census, Rock Island and Henry counties have a combined 77,000 workers.
Yeah, wasn't Bill Gates one of the ones pushing this environmentally friendly crap? Just another one of those things that hurts the ranchers even more, Just another one of those things. And man, this is what happens when you have Democrats in charge for so long. And they start saying that these ranchers are hurting the land and they're hurting the environment and all this craziness, man. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. What do they really want to do? It seems that, listen, I'm going to go back to this chart again. It seems like during the Biden administration, they were going all in. Listen to this. I mean, just look at this, right? 2022 to 2023, we start ramping up the importing from other countries. We were basically kicking out the local farmer, kicking him out of the country altogether, destroying the crops, destroying the same way we did to manufacturing. We got rid of manufacturing. We let China have it. That's what the Democrats did. They sold us out to China. Now China manufactures everything, along with the other tiny little countries. They all manufacture shit for us. We import it because it's cheap, whatever. Now we don't have any manufacturing jobs. Look what we're doing to beef. We're literally watching the death of the local farm. We're watching it in real time. This started in 2023. It went up by $1 billion. Almost $1 billion increase in imports. And then again in 2025. It's like when Joe Biden got in, bro, they were going all in. They were going all in on selling this country out to other countries. Selling it out to China, really. And so now we have this broken system, right? Now we have this broken system. In order for Donald Trump to fix it, he has to dismantle the whole damn thing and then rebuild it. And guess what? We suffer when that ride happens. Just like we're suffering now, like how the prices are so high for everything. Gas prices are so high for everything. We're suffering for it. But that's the only way to fix it. You have to dismantle everything. Prices are going to go all wonky. Everyone's got to readjust. All the markets got to suffer. Everything has to suffer in order to rebuild it. Because we wanted to sell this country out to other countries. We've just wanted, what the Democrats' utopia idea is that people don't work here. They just consume. They just spend money. They just devour, consume, and chill all day and have fun at the taxpayer's expense or at the billionaire's expense or something. It doesn't make any sense when you try to break it down. But the fact that they put all the manufacturing into other countries, they're putting everything off into other countries where all we have here is like customer service jobs. Service jobs. That's all we are. That's all we have over here. And of course, like the industrial market, right? Like, dealing with our our electricity and water and stuff like that. There's that, but we're not manufacturing. We don't produce anything. Don't even bring up Big Pharma, bro. When you start bringing that in, when you start bringing Obamacare in, when you start, man, the Democrats have destroyed this country. And now Donald Trump is doing everything he can to fix it, and everyone's pissed off at him. That's why you see this emergence of this new party that wants to work with the left, work with the right, and combine forces to destroy Donald Trump. Because they see an opportunity here. They know Donald Trump promised us these things. In order to get it to work, he needs to destroy things. And when he destroys these things, we all suffer, right? Well, now they're capitalizing on it. They said, yes, we finally got an opportunity. We know everyone's going to suffer. We can use that against Donald Trump. And so here we are, man. We are at a crisis point in this country. And I've been saying this since the get-go. I've been saying this since last year. Are y'all ready for the fight or not? Are y'all going to jump ship and go follow Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson? And Thomas Massey and Joe Cunt? Are y'all going to go follow them? Or are you in it for the fight, man? Are you in it to take your country back? Meaning we got to suffer tremendously. A lot of us are going to... We're all on the boat together, man, and a lot of us are going to die. I'm going to tell you that right now. A lot of us are going to lose everything. A lot of us are going to suffer. It is what it is, bro. It's rough waters. The food is scarce. Resources are scarce. People are going to get sick. People are going to start dropping like flies. But at the very end of the road, there it is. The country that we always dreamed of, the American dream. It's over there. Just we got to fight for it. You could jump ship, though. Hop on the boat with Megyn Kelly and Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Go off to that other island over there. I mean, you'll be China's little slave, but, you know, it's cool. It's whatever. Go on ahead. You go ahead and do that. Go jump that
direction. Meanwhile, the Trump administration says...
Hear from some more ranchers.
...break on imported...
Oops. Frozen. There's a bad freeze on his face.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration says a temporary tariff break on imported beef could help bring down prices at the grocery store. But back here at home, some ranchers say that relief could come at their cost. Our Juliana Jackson spoke with a rancher about what their cost could mean for and why some state agriculture leaders are pushing back on the president. She was able to find out that the goal is to bring down the price you're paying for beef at the grocery store. But for Texas ranchers, cheaper beef coming in from other countries could also mean less money for the cattle they're raising at home at higher costs. One rancher tells us that he's already seen cattle prices drop, costing producers hundreds of dollars per head.
You're talking $300 to $400 a head difference. That's a lot of money. That's a pay cut.
When the paycheck depends on cattle, Robert Fleming says it adds up fast. He raises cattle and corn in Troy and says
Is that right? Walmart imports from... Because I know everything in Walmart is from China. But I never really thought about the food. I never thought about the food. Is the beef and the food imported from China at Walmart? Hey man, the whole-flation hit this year, bro. The whole-flation has skyrocketed. Isn't that what they say? The whole-flation. Anyways, back to business. Do they really import their beef from... Let me look that up real quick.
In the last few weeks, the price of cattle has dropped to 30 to 40 cents a pound.
Inflation is killing us. Everyone knows our taxes are going up.
Listen to this.
Bills are going up. Everything it takes in the cost of production is increasing.
President Trump is temporarily waiving out-of-quota tariffs on 300,000 metric tons of imported beef for 90 days. It's to bring in more beef, add supply, and help lower what people are paying at the grocery store.
The way it affects our cattle markets with a limit down, creating more turmoil in farm and ranch families across the United States.
Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller says he has a problem with the plan. Miller, a longtime Trump supporter, says this is one of the few times he's disagreed with him.
There's nothing to rebuild our herd. It does absolutely nothing. We have to rebuild our herd to get the price of beef down.
He says rebuilding.
Well, okay. What's stopping y'all from rebuilding the herd? I'm assuming it's the selling off of cattle. They're not making as much money. So they're like, maybe that doesn't go into resupplying everything they need to grow the herd. Maybe it's that. Because like they said, this happening affected their prices of them, like selling their cattle or stuff like that. So
that herd won't happen overnight.
Processing plants go through our trucking and transportation and our labor processing than it is just to buy the beef.
For consumers, more imported beef could mean some relief at the register. But for ranchers like Fleming, the concern is what happens to them in the process.
I'm not so sure President Trump is aware of how he's affecting farm and ranch families throughout the heartland.
Well, do you think it's just Donald Trump by himself? I'm pretty sure he's got teams that actually are talking about this. And it's not just Donald Trump thinking, oh, I want to lower prices before the midterms. Let's just import a bunch of beef. That could be it, but I don't think that's the reason he's doing this. This is just an issue that we got going on. Because one thing I noticed at this chart over here, let me bring this back up, is when you have these low points right here, these low points, that's when we start importing a little bit more. And then it goes back down. You can see it kind of correlates here, right? Whenever it's at a high point, when our cattle head or our population is higher, we import less. And then when it goes down, we import more to kind of balance it out. It's a balancing act. You can see it basically kind of mirrors each other, And so it just seems like we're kind of at that point now, because look at the cattle population. It's just going down, down, down. This is where it should be bouncing back up. Right around here, right around 2024. But last year, it didn't, I guess 2025, it didn't bounce back up. 2026 is definitely bouncing back up. It's going down even faster. So in order to make up for that lower population, we got to import. And that's what's going on right now. And so, even though we have been importing, lowering the tariffs on it, tariff free, that lowers the cost for everybody. And so it should translate in theory to the consumer. But again, you don't know if these grocery stores are going to eat up that profit margin and screw over the consumer anyways. So
rancher Stephen McBee,
it just seems like a natural reaction to the market.
On the show, you're a cattle farmer. Do you think that we should be importing cheaper government-subsidized ground beef at your expense?
This is not an easy answer because you can't snap your fingers and regrow the herd overnight in America. Land prices are at an all-time high, property taxes all-time high, inputs all-time high. So it's extremely hard to grow the herd here in the United States, but it certainly does not help the American farmers and ranchers whenever we're importing beef from foreign countries, that's for sure.
Will it get the price down of ground beef at all?
You might see a temporary suppression of pricing, but I don't think it's really going to do much. And I also think that what this is going to bring is these retailers and the consolidation. We talk about the big four meat packers, them raising the prices or keeping that margin for themselves rather than seeing the relief passed on to customers.
All right. Here's another one for you. The U.S. is going to reopen the southern border to livestock from Mexico next week. The screwworm outbreak originally shut that border down. So my question is the screwworm scare over?
This is another thing, man. We have to get cattle in here, right? And so, like I was telling you earlier, you can't import them from overseas in countries over there because they're grown differently. They're different types of cattle, I guess. But You can get the same cattle from South America and bring them up north, you know? But like he said, the screwworm also had a major effect on us, a big effect, especially here in Texas. And now we're kind of opening up the risk again, but also trying to mitigate this cattle crisis as well. There's no easy answer to none of this, guys. There just really isn't. C Marks, thank you for the 100. And Beagle Mom with another 10. American blessed. The statistical chance of being born in the United States is roughly 2.5 to 3%. We should all be thanking God our whole lives that we were born here. I feel so privileged being here, looking at other countries. Look at Haiti. We could have popped up in Haiti one day, man. Oh my, could you imagine that? Your baby just got born in Haiti. The first thing, your first experience at life is a Somali doctor a Haitian doctor smacking your ass while a fly goes right. You're screaming like a baby, and then a fly goes right down your throat. Like that. That's your first experience at life. Stop it. I'd rather have a liberal nurse slapping my ass to wake me up. You know, I'd rather have that than a Haitian doctor. Jay Lynn coming in hot with the 50. Oh man. Gates wants us, especially poor people, aka us, to eat his plastic food. It'll be impossible to afford rent food. It'll be for elites only. Food is genetically altered and will change our DNA. Trump is trying to fix it, but it's going to take years. It's coming here in 2034. Oh my God. I was not paying attention to Bill Gates or anything he's doing, y'all. So if that's true, fuck that. I'll grow my own damn potatoes in the backyard before I start eating some blue goo that was made to look like some actual food or something. Ugh, that's gross. I don't know. This manufactured food idea, I ain't going for it. Hell no.
I don't think it's over yet. I think that we have done quite a bit of research on it. We've implemented some problem solutions, but I still think we are in the thick of it. And I don't think importing beef across the border is the greatest idea especially when we're dealing with record low inventories across the United States that could then become threatened with screwworm.
But I take it your cattle farmers are doing pretty well. Okay, the herd size is down, but prices are way up. You're profitable, right?
It is profitable. We're doing better than we have been, but I talked earlier about land prices, property taxes, and all of our inputs rising through the roof as well. So we're seeing a lot of that cost eat into our profit margin as well. So really, it's more of a pass-through cost for us than it is a true margin.
Yeah, I'm a tree farmer and filling up the...
You can't really call it a profit then, right? I mean, I guess you're making profits at, during the year you're making profits, but then all of a sudden at the end of the year, you calculate everything into it. The taxes hit, all these things hit, and then all of a sudden it devours your profits. So I guess technically, yeah, they're making higher profits than ever, but still the end of the year costs, everything calculated at the end, that's where they're really feeling the heat. So it really isn't profits. It's just they're making more revenue than ever, and then they have to pay more to get it done.
Tractor with diesel these days is getting very, very expensive. Here's another one for you. I want to get this in. A mother and daughter in Kentucky turned down a $26 million offer to sell their farmland after they found out it would be used to build a data center. Watch this.
This is another topic right here.
We're running out of food plots, whether people realize it or not. If you got kids or grandkids, you should be concerned about these hyper data centers.
Tell us about the family farm.
Me and my brother split it up. It was 1,200 acres. Since the tobacco program was bought out, we've been pretty much living off what the cattle been bringing in. I'm very passionate about food. Ain't no two ways about that. They fool around and poison the aquifers because there's mercury and lead and cadmium in the data center. When all that goes together with the farm chemicals, then it'll go right on down into the aquifer. If you got kids or grandkids, you should be concerned about these hyper data centers.
Okay, Stephen, would you turn down a lot of money because you don't like data centers?
It's a tough decision to make, but you have to think about the future generations and, what you're doing for your kids and your grandkids.
Yeah, right there.
And seeing the energy resources that these data centers use up. And then also knowing that these data centers really don't help that much with local labor because they're pretty much fully automated. It's not a win-win for anyone in rural areas with these data centers coming in.
But AI raises the value of farmland, doesn't it? You can't have take your cake, why don't you? You've got an increase in farmland values.
The farmland might go up, but again, that's just a temporary solution. When we look at the long-term future of the farm, of these rural communities, you're destroying the future of these rural communities with these data centers.
Is farming dead in America? Are we trying to kill it? Because that's the way it seems like, man. Here in Texas, Governor Greg Abbott put I think it was an executive order. It may have been legislation through the House, but I think it was an executive order where he basically said they can't build AI data centers in rural lands. And so, I think AI data centers are a necessary evil because we have to keep up with the AI race across the world. We have to keep up with the amount of data that Americans consume on a daily basis and use every day. So we need them. However, it's like they don't work good in neighborhoods because they're loud as hell. They don't work good in rural land because it affects the environment and it takes up spaces, and that spaces that's supposed to be used for farms and ranches. And man, we are at a tough time in America right now. We're just kind of normal people. I'm not no expert on none of this stuff. So I'm just doing the research and trying to figure it out and make sense of it. But I would not want to be the president right now. I'll tell you that. This is bad, man. Data centers aren't going to feed the people. That's facts. But then he mentioned something else too. What about the future generations? Do y'all realize how many kids have taken farms from their parents and sold them off? It's kind of rare to hear a woman say that she's not going to take the $26 million and sell off her ranch. It's kind of rare to actually hear that because a lot of times these younger generations, bro, they don't want to work no damn farms. They don't want to work the farms. They want to get rid of them. Parents are already dead, so they're like, I don't want to keep up with this. I don't know how to keep up with it. Some of them didn't get raised right to do it. And I remember talking about this last year, but there's a whole generation of people that don't want to continue the farm for their family. They don't. Some of these farms have been there for a century and a half, 150 years, and then all of a sudden you get one kid that has control of the farm, and he says, fuck it, 50 mil, sign me up, baby. Here you go. You have everything you want. Just give me the money. Give me the bread. I'm good. And you have to ask yourself, man, it's like, are we really just killing off the farms? We're going into a whole new era, man. Everything is evolving. The old way of life is changing, and people aren't ready for it. The Amish will save America. Maybe. It's a weird time to be alive, man. It's a weird time to see this massive shift going on right now. And I can't necessarily say it's a good thing or bad thing. It's a scary thing, I'll tell you that. Because it's very uncertain. Is the plan for the future already set, and are they implementing it without us really realizing that the old way of life is completely going away? Is it already set? And we're just being dragged along through the ride? Yeah. And this too, like, we just imported millions of illegal immigrants. If we deported all of them, I think we'd have plenty of supply to go around. And what about the goat population, bro? How many Somalis are... You know what I'm saying? How many Somalis are, yeah. Anyways, that's racist. I'm sorry. I forgot about the Haitians too. They love some goat too, man. Forgot about the Haitians too. They love them some goat too. Anyways, this is a time to be alive, man. I know the older generations, they don't really have to worry about it as much because, you know, I hate to say it like this, but y'all gonna be dead before anything really changes. I would say my son's generation is gonna be around for the rough ride, man. I worry about my son's future so much, you guys. You know, what's it gonna be like for him? If things are this bad for us right now, and we're hanging on by a thread to reclaim this country, relying on Donald Trump, while even our own party is facing massive division, you know, I worry about what his future is going to be like. And I'm just like, damn, man, damn it all. What we have to do is focus on ourselves and our family's future. You know, because we're not into politics. We're not, there's certain people that should be on a mission involved in politics, and they're supposed to be getting into positions of power and focusing on the leaders of this country. That's them. I'm just a normal dude. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how to leave some generational wealth and wisdom to my son and raise him to be prepared for what's happening right now, what's happening in the future, so he can survive. I'm just trying to get my family to survive. Because I hate to say it, but a lot of people in my current generation, and both my family and my wife's family, like, they're not having kids. They are not having kids. And I'm thinking to myself, like, listen, I just got to have these 2 kids right now. I got to raise them so they can hopefully have more kids and we can keep our bloodline going. Because this is the era right now where a lot of feminists are allowing their entire generation, like their entire bloodlines, to straight up die out. Just for the sake of attacking men, you know, and they're letting their whole families die out. Some of them are the only kid at the very end of the bloodline, and they refuse to have kids. Instead, they'll go abort them, or they'll just negate men altogether. So those families are fucked. I'm just trying to do what I can to learn and pass on some knowledge to my son, and hopefully pass a house down to him or something, you know. Something where all he has to do is pay taxes. That's what I would like to give to him. He needs to get his own car, though. He needs to get his first car. He needs to get the oh, he's already got the Trump account. He's already got the Trump account. I mean, that was already by default. My daughter's gonna have a Trump account too. Sounds good to me. Hey man, listen, my grandparents, both of them were my grandma's side, they had 13 kids. It's either 12 or 13. I know it was more than 10. It wasn't quite 15, but it was like 12 or 13. They had 12 kids, and then they all had kids. And then we had the current generations we have right now, but yeah. Nowadays, it's like we're struggling just to have 2 kids. Jalen, thank you for the 10. He said, it's about controlling us. I'll send you the video / an eye-opener. Future generations will not know the difference. Government has been pushing farmers out for years. Our way of life is ending in the future. Yeah. That's why, listen, our job is to adapt. and to pass on the knowledge of what happened to our kids, you know?
The price of cattle is dropping about as fast as this auctioneer can talk. The ranchers at Union Stockyards in Hillsboro were well aware of President Trump's Truth Social post. Trevor Corboy had already committed to selling 22 head of cattle today and took a huge loss.
We're talking a couple $100 a head on those feeder cattle that I sold today. And so, yeah, it's a couple $100 a head, but multiply that by 22 head that we sold here today. We're talking thousands of dollars off the farm bottom line at the end of the month.
The cattle were selling for about 10% less than they would have due to Mr. Trump's post.
I listened to it last night.
Mr. Trump. Yeah, come on. It's President Trump. Don't give me that Mr. Trump crap.
I got sick because I had 400 and some cattle here to sell today.
Union Stockyard owner Bill Butler says flooding the domestic market with foreign beef won't lower prices at grocery stores. If you want to lower consumer prices, he says, lower interest rates for ranchers, the cost of feed, farm equipment, fuel, that will bring down the price of beef.
So you don't think this is going to bring the prices of food down at the market?
Nope. It's too much in between that interacts to the farmer don't get it. They're taking it off of the farmer.
Right now, we're ground chuck price is about $6.39 per pound is what we're running it at.
What was it a year ago?
A year ago, it was around $5.99 to $6.09.
Craig Blevins runs the meat department for Jungle Gyms. He questions whether distributors will pass along the savings from cheaper foreign beef.
Do you think President Trump's announcement is going to affect the prices here at Jungle Gyms?
That's a tough question. I think if it does, we're not going to see it for a very long time.
For shoppers like Aaron Matthews,
what do you think is going to happen? So people are going to hear this, right? The people that aren't ranchers, they're going to hear this. Oh, okay, we're importing a bunch of beef. That should give us relief at the grocery store, right? What happens if the prices don't change? People are going to be upset, and they're most likely going to blame Donald Trump. They're most likely going to blame Donald Trump because that's as far as their thinking can go. Now, some people are going to say that, yeah, it's these grocery stores, these companies that are, basically going to be hoarding these margins, these profits for themselves so they can invest back into their businesses and all that. There is that. So some of these grocery stores are going to be loyal to their customer base. They're going to lower their prices. Some of them. Like me, I have one grocery store in my whole city, and the only other grocery store in the area is Walmart in 3 directions. That's all we got. We got one Brookshire's right here at my town. Brookshire's. Everything else around here, it's all Walmart. You go left, you go west, Walmart, north, Walmart, east, Walmart, south, there ain't shit for miles. There ain't no grocery stores around here. There's like tiny little, tiny little markets, bro. Like tiny little stores. Where most of the time you try to go in there and ask them if they got any food. They ain't got nothing. Well, when it comes to like meat, like actual produce and meat, they ain't got nothing there. Yeah, I told you, I mean, Walmart monopolized everything. I don't have an Aldi's around here. I don't have Minyards or Albertsons. I ain't got nothing. I got one Brookshire's right here next to my house, and there ain't nothing else. Farmers market. Now, there is one place that's about 30 minutes away from here where a lot of people do bring, it's a farmer's market essentially, but it's also a market for a bunch of people to sell items and products or whatever they have from their stores around the area. So everyone kind of brings some of their products into this place, and they do sell that way. Other than that, it's like there's really nothing around here other than Brookshire's and Walmart. And I'm mainly talking about produce and beef, really what I'm talking about. You know, I think the Dollar General, I think Dollar General might have ground beef, maybe. But that's cutting it. I don't even think they have that shit. They certainly don't have steaks. Yeah. Walmart sucks, man. I mean, and we ain't got no damn choice but to go to Walmart now. That's how they got us. Yeah, Aunt Colleen, yeah. I probably wouldn't go to Dollar General. I couldn't imagine getting my groceries from Dollar General, really. Be honest with you. They're kind of the same thing though. They get a bunch of their shit from where do they get all their stuff? I think they get it from China. I know they get it like cheap as hell. I've seen documentaries on dollar stores, you know, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, and Family Dollar. They're all the same company. They're all the same company. They just slap on a different label. And they promise you that the dollar store. Man, they ain't no damn dollar store. Yeah, Dollar General imports basically all of their merchandise from China, especially inexpensive non-food goods. Almost everything. About 4% of their merchandise is not imported. So 96% of their stuff is imported from China. Everything else is coming from India, Mexico, South America, Southeast Asia. And nothing from America, though. You know? Ain't that some shit? Yeah, all three of them are the same. Family Dollar, Dollar General, Dollar Tree. They're all the same. They're all the same company. It's just different labels. And they throw them in these rural areas. It's like a miniature version of Walmart, kinda, but like the poverty version, or the extra poverty version. Yeah, all these other companies are, you know, the big ones like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Frito-Lay, General Mills, Hershey, Kraft. All that shit comes from America, but this stuff sucks. It sucks to think about. Jalen, thank you for another 50. Oh my goodness, Jalen. Thank you for making my night. Thank you for making my night. What'd you say? Unfortunately, we can't fight these billionaires. Yes, adapt, educate your kids, buy, save veggie, fruit, seeds, learn the garden, / canning. Have camping supplies, especially filtering water, everything to survive without electricity, communication, and heating. Be a survivalist. Yeah, I would die. I would die. I mean, I would adapt the best I could, but I'd probably do something stupid and die. Man, I went camping when I was a kid, very little, but other than that, like, I never went camping. Like real camping. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like hanging out in the woods and shit like that. Man, we went to like you go to the lake and you rent a little lot or whatever, and you throw a fucking tent out there on a parking lot and call that camping. I know how to fish. I can do that. I know how to make a fire. Damn. Yeah, I would die. Yeah. Rip Arturo. Oh my goodness, man. I've seen enough Netflix movies. I got it. Go find me a goat. Make some bacon on a rock. You know, most people though, if that happened, most people would try to boil water, go to a lake and try to boil water straight from the lake. That ain't happening. That ain't happening, bro. You would try to boil some water out of a lake and you gonna die so fast. Thinking that boiling, first of all, how the hell do you even boil the water? A lot of people are not gonna be able to even make the fire. They're gonna die of hunger before they even get a chance to do that. Yeah, bro. Just watch a few YouTube videos. Get the Starlink out. You know what I'm saying? Get the Starlink out. Follow water to the source. With these little man-made lakes. You die before you even walked around the damn thing. You know, I was watching we were watching Yellowstone, right? And we watched what was it 1883? And I was like, man, people were so rugged, so real back then. You know, having to survive out in the harsh environment, figuring it out, eating just a sliver of a meal every day and surviving on nothing but water. Water and nothing else. He said, I'm good, but my wife thinks Motel 6 is camping. You know, I'm hoping we ain't got to worry about all that. I don't think we will. I mean, what would lead to a what would lead to a civilizational collapse like that? I don't think we're ever going to have issues that bad to where there's just no power, no water, electricity across the entire country, you know? I don't think things will ever be that bad. If anything, we're going to be in a socialist utopia. He says some nukes. Oh, buddy. The facts, exactly. You'd be fine, Arturo. You beat Oregon Trail as a kid, right? No. Nope. I never did. I don't even think I knew how to play that game when I was a kid. I remember playing it though, but I don't think I ever beat it. But don't worry, I played Final Fantasy 7 through 15. I think I got it. I think I can do it. Oh yeah. Socialist utopia means that basically we all become political prisoners. And then we have a king that rules over us in a communist dictatorship. Or I'm sorry, communist dictatorship. Yep. You know, for some reason these Democrats want to turn us into North Korea. I don't get that. Arturo has the shed coming. I haven't even messed with it since yesterday. I ain't got nothing set up in there. I just got all my stuff put in there and that's it. You'll be denied. Stop and think about. You'll be denied. Stop and think about it. It takes over and they deny white people any ability to do anything. You're being in trouble. Oh yeah, white people are the first ones to go unless you're a beta male, liberal. You know, I don't know. What would even happen? I don't know. Maybe that's what would wake white people up again. Because right now we got white people. Listen, bro, white people are on the ground groveling and kissing the toes of black men and saying, I'm sorry for my ancestors. I didn't do it. Y'all ever seen those videos of white women on the ground kissing black men's like boots and shit like that? Arturo, sounds like you'd be eating your neighbors. Someone gonna get ate. Listen, who said in the chat? Someone said in the chat that cannibalism is legal. Someone going down. he said, whoa, wait a minute. That's only like 10 of them that are kissing the boots of black men. And now I gotta bust it out.
Right there, you ain't done. Let me tell you something. Black folk, hold on. So let me ask you a question. You said you sorry for what your ancestors have done? You said you did against the boots of the children of the slaves. There you go. Start with that boot right there over there. Right there, you ain't done. Let me tell you
God damn.
Hold on. So let me ask you a question. You said you sorry for what your ancestors have done? You said
what happened, bro?
Your ancestors. You said that you are not like them. Yes, sir. Is that what you said? All right, well, let me see. We're going to see if you're going to finish the job. Anybody can do that part because that don't take no real work. Next part is if you're really sorry, what it say? Give me Isaiah 49 to 23. I'm going to tell you what God said. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 49 and verse 23. And
listen. Let me put it like this, please. I am an Hispanic man. I'm not white. I just put white on my job application to give myself a little bit of a little leg up. But I mean, okay. I am an Hispanic man. Okay, white man. Right, the white men, y'all conquered this land. Y'all did y'all's thing. Okay, and I'm good. I'm cool with that. That's cool. I got your back. Okay, but I'm gonna need y'all. I'm gonna need y'all to get into your conquering mode again. I'm gonna need y'all to. You know what I'm saying? Can we get back to, a couple hundo years ago, back in the day? You know what I'm saying? Can we get back to it? Y'all go ahead and pick your balls up again. Go back to being the white man that these people feared. Not this. Not this. Please. I need y'all to go back. I need y'all to go back, man. Rewind the clock. Pick it back. I need y'all to be the face of conquering again, please. I got your back, man. I got your back. Y'all just need to get back out there and do it again. Cause this ain't gonna cut it. This is not gonna cut it.
You said you different from your ancestors. You said that you are not like them. Yes, sir. Is that what you said? All right, well, let me see. We're going to see if you're going to finish the job. Anybody can do that part because that don't take no real work. Next part is if you're really sorry, what it say? Give me Isaiah 49 to 23. I'm going to tell you what God said. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 49 and verse 23. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth. That's the first step. So bow down with your face.
Boy, talk about just taking that whole taking that whole thing and just making your own definition for it, huh? Yeah, just completely twisted it, bro. I'm sorry, ma'am. Messy Tessie, just completely twisted it. They take like a couple words here and there. Yeah, bow down. Yeah. Bow down to me, bow down to me.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
And lick up the dust of thy feet. Kiss the boots of the children of the slave.
No.
There you go.
Oh my God.
You ain't done. Let me tell you something. That's the gift of God. Hold on. There's more. That's devil right there. You can just stay where you at. They gonna bring the boots to you. You can just stay right here.
I ain't licking your dirty ass, nasty ass, but get the hell no. I don't care what my ancestors did or theirs did. Man, fuck you. Who are you? You ain't never suffered in your life. Coddled. Little man, pampered, privileged, DEI, all that shit. I ain't licking your damn boot. Fuck off. It's just Mathis, brother. What's up, man? Thank you for the 5. He said, hey, man, just wanted to send something to thank you for helping me out in the DMs. You're most welcome, brother. I hope the best for you, man. And, maybe we'll send some people over your way eventually. It's just Mathis. Did you start a channel or did you already have a channel? Let me look at something real quick. Oh yeah, he's already got a channel. He's already cooking. It's just Mathis. Am I saying your name right? Just Matthias? Maybe it's just Matthias. 600 subscribers. If y'all want to help out one of our Daily Discourse family members, then let me put his and put that in the chat. If y'all want to go throw him a subscribe just for free, help him out. He's got videos going already. He's got some shorts, some lives. Yeah, man. If y'all want to help him out, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm sure he'd appreciate it too. Matthias. I love helping out my fellow content creators. Y'all already know me. Especially when they're one of our Daily Discourse family members. Big shout out to him. And of course, massive shout out to my girl Jaylyn with another $50 super chat. Well, isn't this depressing? Yeah, a little bit. Most will die because they lack skills, space, supply, civilization collapse. I'll send that video. This is Beyond Socialist. It's happening now. We're just waking up to the seriousness. It's actually here after talking about it for 50 years. Yeah, I mean, if there's ever going to be a time for it to happen, now would be it. Fuck, man. Everything is coming to a head. Everything is falling apart right now. But we're also, in some aspects, we're stronger in certain aspects than we've ever been. There's some things that we're kicking ass in. I mean, look at technology. Look at AI. Look at that. I mean, those things are I don't think we're going to have a civilizational collapse. I don't think so. I just think we're going to have a re-emergence of a new civilization, kind of. Facts. We need this. We need patriarchy back. That's what we need. We need to get rid of the matriarchy. That's for sure. Man, ladies, thank y'all so much for supporting me. Jaylyn, Beagle Mom with the big super chats tonight. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate you. I'm sorry. I'll stop torturing y'all with this. Get this off the screen. You know what I wanted to talk about? Kind of changed. I mean, is this just even more depressing?
Harm her children.
Uh-oh. Do we want to get in this conversation? I don't know if I want to get in this conversation. because I was reading up on this and studying this stuff too. Postpartum psychosis and the uptick in postpartum depression and how much it's significantly increased over just the past 15, 16 years. From 2009 to 2019, it basically doubled. It was like a 9% around 2009, and then 2019, now it's at 19.5% of all pregnancies now becoming postpartum depression. Yeah, I can't imagine why. Well, that's the thing. Is there really a correlation? Because there's the uprising of SSRIs. There's the uprising of social media. There's feminism that changed a lot of things too. Women being in the workforce and, negating men and their families. There's so many things. We have tortured women, bro. Crossing Hooniverse, thank you for the 5. It's a happy Monday, Arturo. I'm trying to be happy, but we're just talking about, the collapse of civilization and postpartum psychosis, which, postpartum psychosis wasn't even really a thing back in the day. As a matter of fact, I tried looking up studies for that, and that's kind of something new that kind of emerged in the past 20, 30 years. It was just never a thing. Let me look it up. I'm gonna just bust it out. Let's just do this real quick. Let's go to ChatGPT. Make me graph. Let's just see what ChatGPT churns out real quick. I remember it was having a hard time on the postpartum psychosis thing because apparently that's new. Okay, that's we done created something when you combine SSRIs, TikTok, social media, and feminism. You get this concoction of postpartum psychosis. And I'm like, bro, women used to have babies in caves. And I highly doubt that they ever really had like actual postpartum depression before, the modern day struggles that we have. But I don't know. I don't know. I would think that the only reason they ever had to kill their children back then, hundreds of years ago, or whatever, it was because of their desperation for survival. Oh, that's great. Honest answer is there's no scientifically valid 100-year data set for either depression or psychosis. Let's see. What is this? 2010? It only goes back to 2010? Postpartum depression diagnosis. So did it what did we used to call it back then in the 90s or 80s and 60s? Oh, okay. Well, 2010, it was at 9.4. And then there's just an uprise. and then an uprise. And I'm sure in the next couple of years, when we get more data after 2021, oh God, just think, what about COVID? What do you think it is at now? You know, it's probably much higher. 25%, probably going to be there pretty soon. Now, postpartum psychosis, 2016 to look at that straight line, just increasing. What is this? Approximately 0.6 per every 1,000 deliveries resulted in psychosis-coded readmission within 60 days. Another 1.1 per 1,000 hospitals. Okay. Wow. It's just elevated all across the board. Okay, so here we go. What about correlations, right? Previous depression or anxiety, very strong. So this row is postpartum depression. This one right here, this one is psychosis. So these are correlates with either one. So previous depression, anxiety, strong with both. Bipolar disorder, elevated for PPD, and among the strongest predictors for psychosis. Listen, y'all, guys, if your chick has bipolar disorder, I mean, you just gonna have to like get up out of there for the sake of your children and your mental health. You just get up out of there. Previous postpartum psychosis, also extremely strong for, well, yeah, of course. Sleep deprivation means postpartum is elevated and also an important trigger for psychosis. Poverty or severe financial stress, that makes it elevated for postpartum depression. Well, hell, I could have told you that. And it's just associated with psychosis, meaning it's not a main factor, but it's like, typically that's what's going to happen. Weak social partner support. I wonder how they define that. My husband don't let me sleep with other men. He's a weak partner. Elevated there. Possible contributor to the psychosis. Okay, so mainly like if you're having depression, anxiety, and you're bipolar, that's what's mostly going to lead to psychosis. But what I want to know is like, oops. How do SSRIs correlate with these diagnoses? Wounds are us. Thank you for the 5. He said, serious, have no research. Any positive outcomes, just the hamster wheel of psychiatric perpetual treatment without improvement. Yeah, forever patients is what I like to call them. Big Pharma's favorite thing. This is why they are pushing the woke movement so much. They want to turn your kids into forever patients, mentally unstable, gender confused, damaged children. We call them trans kids, and they're just Big Pharma's pincushions, where we inject them with all sorts of drugs, chop off their genitals, surgeries, doctors making millions of dollars, all because we have brainwashed them to think that they're some weird creature in the wrong body. No, they're brainwashed, they're abused, and it's disgusting. Wounds are us. Thank you for the 5. He said, we used to call it baby blues. Yeah. Yep. And I'm a man, I can't really understand what it's like to feel postpartum depression. And I'll probably sound very insensitive, if I said something like, suck it up and deal with it. Because I don't know what it feels like. I have no idea what it feels like. Carla Sue, thank you for the Unk Alert. As a man, though, like, my job is just to support you because you just got done growing something in your body for 9 months and then you have to eject it. And I was with my wife the first time, and we're going to do it again the second time. Just going to have to make it as easy as possible, Okay, SSRIs correlate strongly with postpartum depression. Oh, shocker there. But mostly because depressed patients are more likely to receive SSRIs. Yeah. Why are they depressed, though? Why is everybody depressed? Is it because depression is just natural now? It's just what we are? Or just because we become so weak that every inconvenience, hurts our feelings, and we just now become, sad about everything. That's what I think it is, to be honest with you. I think we're just, these generations of people, millennials, Gen Z, we're just so weak and we're so coddled that every slight inconvenience or things not going our way or any obstacles we're faced with, the first thing we run to is crying or bitching about it. And of course, we let it go on for so long that we now think we have a problem. And so we got to go to a doctor to fix it. Man, all you got to do is get off your ass and go work. Be productive. If you really want to fix depression, you need to give yourself a purpose. You need to find something to chase and go after, Like your life has to have meaning, and no doctor is going to give you that in a pill. Your life has to have meaning. You have to look at yourself and say, what is the point of myself being alive? Once you have a purpose, all that depression shit goes out the way, because you're going to be so busy chasing your purpose that you ain't got time to be sad. And then when something does sad happen, you deal with it and you go back to chasing your purpose. Yeah, depression is a multi-billion-dollar business. Facts. Big Pharma is, yep. And you wonder why the Democrats push this woke agenda. It is the perfect way to brainwash people in mass to make them forever patients for Big Pharma. It's pretty crazy, man. It's just Matthias. Thank you for another 2. He said everything triggers people nowadays. Yeah, everyone's so sensitive and delicate and I just can't handle anything. First thing to do is start crying. And then going, and the worst thing for your mental health you can do is pick up your phone and go on TikTok and start bitching and crying, and then get 10,000 comments of everyone else bitching and crying and affirming your weakness in the chat. And you just think that this is the new way of life. Once you've been affirmed, you've been told that it's not you that's the problem, it's everyone else. Once that happens, your brain, it short circuits. And now you're in this terrible position where you think that this is just normal for you to be this way. And it's everyone else's fault, everyone else's problem that you're dealing with this. Yeah, TikTok, I think, is one of the biggest factors for mental health decline in this country. I swear to God, I will. If there's one thing I highly disagree with Donald Trump, it's the fact that he saved TikTok. And I get why he did it. I know what he was thinking. He was saying that, Republicans were able to get the word out and to reach out to millions of people. And that really did help us take the country back. However, there's a massive cancer inside of TikTok. It's damaging to children's brains. It's damaging to adults' brain. It's damaging. All it does is damage your brain. This is why I don't like YouTube shorts. I mean, I make them because I kind of have to, but I really dislike YouTube shorts. I don't like the instant gratification addiction you get from short form content. Man, so many problems. And this, all on top of this, you know. Let's see, what is the new, after we just did all this research, what is the news saying about these things?
And clear up the closing doors, please.
It was the sound of New York subway doors closing one night in December 2015 that Megan Cliffel says flipped a switch in her brain.
It was just as if my rational brain was like ripped from me.
Cliffel had just gone back to work after having her second baby when she became convinced that people, even her husband, were in a cult-like conspiracy to harm her children.
That kind of culminates with me punching my husband in the face a couple times, trying to get to our two babies that he's safely secured away from me in our bedroom, and then alternatively running to the door of our apartment building, trying to get to the roof to jump or to show I was.
What the fuck? Well, I didn't know. Okay, that's crazy. If that's true. I'm like, what? Yeah, okay. I thought it was just like you're sad and the baby's crying and you're just. I saw a woman the other day on TikTok, you know, the baby's crying in her face and she's just like, freaks out and pushes the baby down. I'm thinking it's like that. I'm not thinking it's like they're in a conspiracy to kill my kids. And then she freaks out and starts beating up the husband.
Willing to jump to prove my loyalty. It was 100% real to me.
Cliffel was experiencing postpartum psychosis, which experts say is more frequent than many realize.
Postpartum psychosis is very underrecognized, undertreated, and under-researched.
Why do all these white women look crazy? Ladies in the chat, never mind. I don't want to go down that road. Why do all these white women look crazy is all I'm saying.
Symptoms range from trouble sleeping and dramatic mood swings to paranoia and hallucinations. The term is getting much more attention now as it's at the center
Exhibit A,
trial
Patient Zero.
Many women suffer in silence, going without treatment. The condition is only beginning to get recognized by the medical establishment. It isn't in the DSM, the manual published by the American Psychiatric Association, which doctors turn to treat mental health conditions. But the same organization does acknowledge mothers can suffer from these medical emergencies. It says in as many as 2 in 1,000 births.
Colleagues of mine have been championing this with the DSM for many years.
The University of North Carolina's Dr. Crystal Schiller treats postpartum psychosis.
Are medical students even learning about this postpartum psychosis?
I think the vast majority of them are likely not learning about postpartum psychosis at all.
It's different from postpartum depression.
You know, I hate to be so skeptical like this, but I'm like, is this real or is this just like women trying to find it out? Trying to find it out, you know, trying to have a. When we're talking about this psychosis thing, is it real? Maybe. We'll never know. We have to be inside the mind of the woman doing it. But are some of them just trying to find it out? I mean, a lot of these women will kill their baby to find it out. They'll do an abortion just to get out of it. Who's to say that they just didn't have a mental break and they said, you know, they originally wanted to have an abortion, but they didn't go through with it. Now they have the baby, it's alive. And now they're just having this mental breakdown saying, oh, I should have aborted it and I didn't. And then now they're here at the very end of it. They're like, fuck it, just go all crazy. Somebody gonna die anyways, or I'm gonna go to jail, or I'm just gonna be just something, anything. I don't know.
Now called perinatal depression because symptoms can start before birth. That's marked by sadness and anxiety.
That's a good question. Somebody asked, does it affect white women more? Hey, Fred, thank you for the $20 on Venmo, man. I appreciate it. Said, females kill people more than anyone on the planet, full stop. From Overland Hams. Oh, shout out to you, man. Thank you for the 20. What? Hold on. Wait a minute. Oh, this is, hold on. Postpartum depression by race. American Indian, Alaska Native, non-Hispanic, 22%, the highest. Asian Pacific, non-Hispanic, 19%. Black, 18%. Other race, non-Hispanic. What the hell does that mean? Oh, okay, other race. And then Hispanic, 12%. And then white at the very bottom, 11.4%. That's a shocker. I thought white women would be like 89% or something like that. Something crazy. Overall prevalence was 13.2%. And that was in 2018. 2022 says pretty much the same thing, looks like. Well, what about the psychosis one? Oh, so psychosis is new, man. It's so new, there's not even really studies for it. Best large U.S. psychosis study included 12.3 million deliveries. Oh, they didn't provide the race or ethnicity data, so they're woke. This is another reason why I can't even is this even real? Because now it just seems like a DEI study. These are some crazy bitches lashing out. These just some crazy bitches going crazy. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Until we get real studies, I'm gonna look at this with. I'm gonna look at it with a side eye. That's the way I'm gonna look at it.
Anxiety and is much more common than postpartum psychosis.
It is not anyone's fault when they experience these horrific symptoms. It's a medical emergency and they need health care. The treatments that we do have largely do work. And so if women can get access to high quality care quickly, that's really the best that we can do.
Megan Cliffel now tries to raise awareness for other families that might be experiencing the challenges of postpartum psychosis. She got the help she needed and had a psychiatric plan in place when she gave birth to her third child.
Which included things like prioritizing sleep, prophylactic medication right after birth, and prioritizing kind of connection and joy and things that kept me well.
A positive outcome for a potentially devastating mental health condition.
Erica Edwards is joining us now. Erica.
Oh, no. Postpartum depression is real for sure. I'm talking about the psychosis specifically, the psychosis part. I know postpartum depression is real. I know that's I'm talking specifically about the psychosis part. That's what I mean. Like, you know, she said that the train doors opening up was her trigger. And then all of a sudden, the MK Ultra kicked in, and she's like, my husband is conspiring to kill me and the kids. You know, is it just, I don't know. I don't know if it is. It's definitely not. This is something that's new, you know. There's no damn studies on it. This is fresh off the press. Apparently came out in the Obama administration. 2025 or 2015, baby. It could just be a correlation of like all sorts of things, like, you know, schizophrenia or stuff like that. They're not talking to us about anything like that. You gotta remember, we're talking about NBC too, you know. Yeah, the MK Ultra just went off. The switch was flipped. That's what she said. She said the doors opened up and what are your orders, master? Kill your husband. Winnie Cat with a happy poop. Order 66. kill all men. You know, the feminazi Order 66.
For people,
take them all out.
Kind of a thing. And any sense of when we could see this as a more official diagnosis?
Yeah, so the issue surrounding getting postpartum psychosis into that DSM.
And then what about the SSRIs? I hate all this, bro. I hate all of it. We used to deliver babies in the caves. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, we used to shit out babies in the caves and everything was fine. But now we got all these concoctions that these women are taking. And then on top of that, social media stacked on top. The medication swirling around in their bloodstream, in their brain, affecting the way their brain grows. And you think the cave women had PPD? How would you know? How would you know? They were just struggling to survive. They ain't got no time to be crying in the bed and making videos on TikTok.
He needs some milk.
What freeze frame her O's face?
Still being debated. The group responsible for adding it has not given a time frame for doing so. Meanwhile, the woman who talked with Megan Cliffel in that piece told us that doctors first told her she probably had bipolar disorder, and it took a long time for her to get that postpartum psychosis diagnosis and eventually the help that she really needed. Now, meanwhile, there is help right now for women who are dealing with this, whether they're having scary thoughts or just really kind of need to vent. Either visit
Yeah, I'll help you. Let me go unplug the router real quick. Let's just go unplug the Wi-Fi, turn the cell phone off. Oh, magic. I cured depression. If we just get rid of the cell phone, we get rid of the internet for a little bit, just a couple days. But you're going to miss me. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make, okay? It's just...
postpartum.net or call 1-833-TLC-MAMA. That's postpartum.net.
Tender love and care, baby. Tender love and care for your mama.
1-833-TLC-MAMA. Write it down, screenshot it, email me, whatever you have to do. Ask for help. It is available to you. Callie.
Erica.
Get it, girl. Now, this is a mother that dealt with it.
Donors.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Difficulty sleeping. A lot of anxiety.
Almost had a Tommy cameo. Now, again, these are going to be all CBS, NBC, MS Now, whatever.
Good job! Haley Ashcom dreamed of having a big family.
I had always wanted to be a mom.
But in 2020, after giving birth to her first son, Kane, that dream turned into a nightmare.
It first presented kind of as insomnia, difficulty sleeping, a lot of anxieties, but they continued to escalate. What I believe were intrusive thoughts ended up turning into voices.
Ashcom says she was diagnosed with postpartum depression and prescribed Zoloft, the same anti-anxiety medication Lindsay Clancy was first prescribed.
Man, you see, it's like we just throw pills at the problem. There was a doctor that looked at her and said, yeah, this will fix it. Pop this. I think sometimes maybe people don't need doctors. They need life coaches. They need someone to look at their life and say, yeah, listen, grow up. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they need a kick in the ass. I don't know. I'm not a health professional. All I know is when I had my ass kicked by somebody telling me that I was dumb and I was stupid and I was fucking around and I needed to fix my life. That was like that was the cure for me. But now they're telling her, oh, she's dealing with issues. Just give her a pill. Okay, but her life is still whatever it was.
But those voices, Ashcom says,
Not like the pill's gonna fix it or change anything.
Violent.
I've never in my life gone through a period where I thought it would be better not to be alive. And all of a sudden, it became the only option.
Ashcom says she went straight to a hospital and, like Clancy, was prescribed a second anti-anxiety med.
Oh, great.
Voices go away.
A cocktail.
Unfortunately, they just continued to get worse.
Ultimately, she checked herself into a psychiatric hospital where she says she was diagnosed with postpartum psychosis.
How much?
And I guess the husband's just left with the baby, right? There is a husband in this scenario, right? Or did I miss that? What happened to the baby?
Did you know about postpartum psychosis? I knew nothing. I was so taken aback and thought that I was such a monster.
This feels like a watershed moment.
Dr. Catherine Berndorf treats women with this illness.
Is this being underdiagnosed? I fear that it is.
She says postpartum psychosis isn't listed in the standard handbook used by American mental health experts, which means many doctors often don't know what to look for.
Oh, Lord.
Cracks here? Yeah, they are. It's a very lethal and dangerous illness that when left untreated has tragic outcomes.
Ashcom is thankful she got the treatment she needed in time and went on to have 3 more children without experiencing psychosis again.
What's your message to women?
Where the husband at?
You're not alone, and in seeking help, you're actually doing
that
a
him?
really good job both for yourself and for your baby.
Chanel Call, CBS News.
Y'all ain't even gonna mention the husband? Is she living at her parents' house? Is she living at her parents' house? A single mother with 3 kids?
If you or someone you know.
Where the man at? Hold on, I gotta go back. Did she say anything about her husband?
Good job! Haley Ashcom dreamed of having a big family.
I had always wanted to be a mom.
But in 2020, after giving birth to her first son, Kane, that dream turned into a nightmare.
It first presented kind of as insomnia, difficulty sleeping, a lot of anxieties, but they continued to escalate. What I believe were intrusive thoughts ended up turning into voices.
Ashcom says she was diagnosed with postpartum depression and prescribed Zoloft, the same anti-anxiety medication Lindsay Clancy was first prescribed. But those voices, Ashcom says, got louder and turned violent.
I've never in my life gone through a period where I thought it would be better not to be alive, and all of a sudden it became the only option.
Ashcom says she went straight to a hospital and, like Clancy, was prescribed a second anti-anxiety med.
Did those voices go away? Unfortunately, they just continued to get worse.
Ultimately, she checked herself into a psychiatric hospital where she says she was diagnosed with postpartum psychosis.
How much do
She needs to be diagnosed with baby mama syndrome. That's all it is, baby. I can't keep my legs closed-itis. That's what that is. Where the husband at? What are we talking about here, man? Single mother living at home with her parents. That's where your depression came from. And that's where it became that's where you went crazy. Single baby mama-litis. Single baby mamatism. That's what it is. The husband is a sperm bank. That's right. That's facts. That's facts. That's all we are. Well, not me, but in this guy's situation. They didn't even mention nothing about the father, nothing. But they gave you a little hint. Living at home with mommy and dad, that's definitely her parents' home. Daddy went out to get a gallon of milk and he said, "Where you going, honey?"
He needs some milk.
Okay, you come on back now. 8 years later, he's still going out there to get that milk. He still ain't come home with that milk. Aunt Colleen, thank you for the 5. He said, if I ever felt like I wanted to harm my newborn baby, I would seek help immediately. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Wounds of Rust, thank you for the 5 on Rumble. He said participation trophies have resulted in intolerant, crazy liberal women. I gave birth to 4 and celebrated having my body back, even if I was tired. You know? Congratulations, y'all. Listen, bro. Even the mothers that are... Motherhood is such a beautiful thing. Thank you, Cole, for the piñata. Motherhood is such a beautiful thing. I think we in society, because we have changed the role of women and basically put them on a course to where it's like you go to school and then they don't even talk about getting a husband, right? They just talk about you got to go get your college degree. You got to go get your career. You got to become a boss bitch. You got to build it all on your own. And then when you're 40 and the eggs are all dried up, that's when God gonna give you a good man. Right? You're 40 years old. You've accomplished everything. You got the big fucking five bedroom, three bath house. You got a Mercedes Benz out in the driveway. Now you're 40. You done accomplished everything. And it's like, yeah, now I'm ready for that man. And that man never coming knocking. And then when you do find a man, he's going to be like, oh, what am I supposed to do? What's the point of me around? You've already done everything. Ain't no man want to come in there and just be the pet husband. You know? And that way of life that we've built for women, which feminism has constructed for them and society has adopted as the normal for women, that way of life, I think, has fucked women up beyond repair. You need to raise women to stay at home with mommy and daddy. Sure, go to work. I mean, yeah, you got to do something with your day to day, right? You got to do something, but don't seek the career as that's your purpose. You're a woman. You're supposed to be a mother. Same thing with the dad. You're supposed to be a provider, protector, and a husband and a father. But we have abolished gender roles, got rid of those things. Now everyone's just free as a bird, flapping their wings and hoping for the best. When all they do is they lead these lives of no direction. They're just doing whatever feels good at the moment. You know, they just go out there and they do their thing forever. And no one has the balls to tell them that they're screwing up. Because if you tell them that they're bad, they're going to call you misogynist. They're going to say you just hate women. Like, no, I'm trying to save you, but you just don't want to do it. And then next thing you know, they're having a psychotic break. And they're hopped up on 8 different SSRIs and the bad part about it too is like men also have lost their way, you know? Men are also told that don't be masculine. That's toxic masculinity. Don't do that. You're supposed to be a weak beta male. That's the way you should do it. Nice guys really, they always say nice guys finish last, but actually, nice guys are what we want. Yeah, bullshit. I don't want no damn nice guy. Everyone's falling off. Now we have 30-year-olds that don't even know how to change a tire. Take one for the team or two, or you could get her to vote for Trump. Nah, I'm good on that. I'll take the L. I'm good on that.
The Lindsay Clancy trial continues to fascinate and divide the country. Some think she should do time for murdering her 3 children. Others think she didn't get the help she needed with postpartum psychosis. And caught in the crossfire, her ex-husband, Patrick.
Yeah, fuck him. Nobody cares about him. Nobody cares about the husband, bro. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of women are saying that he's the killer. Say what? Say what? Fishing, hunting. Thank you for the 10. He said Antifa was chasing me around today in Minnesota. What? Lesson learned, don't mess with the Navy SEAL Antifa. Keep up the good work, Arturo. What were you doing out there? Okay. Well, shout out to you, brother. I hope you're safe. I hope you're good. Minneapolis is not a good place, man. Hope you got some good footage, too. I hope you got that. The way they're treating the husband is like, even though he just had his whole family destroyed by the woman he entrusted with their lives, with their future. You know, even though his whole life just got taken away from him, these feminazis, that's the only way to describe them. These feminazis are claiming he's the killer. He's the reason for all this. He drove her to psychosis.
Sure, detectives blaming him for what happened. But as Ann Mercogliano reports, people are coming to his defense.
Outside the courthouse where Lindsay Clancy is on trial for murdering her 3 kids, opinion is divided after that extraordinary
feminazis
report last week by hundreds of women dressed in
Look, bro, listen, guys, people, listen and listen clear. This is the enemy of planet Earth. This is the human. Listen, Iran ain't shit compared to the white liberal woman. Let me tell you that right now. China ain't shit compared to the liberal white woman. This is the enemy that we face. This is the enemy within. The Muslims, CCP spies, economic collapse. No, these creatures. Look at the man. Look at the guy. Look at the beta cuck. Pink sweater, above knee shorts. God. My God. All these demons out here. These are actual demons.
To that extraordinary show of support last week by hundreds of women dressed in pink rallying for her. But these women dressed in
the fupas are out and about.
Women dressed
full force and all. Oh my God, the fupas. Oh my God.
Look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
What have we done? What have we done? What have we done? The tortas. Oh my goodness, bro. That's a black woman. So,
look at my African American over here. Look at him. Are you the greatest? Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Both of them. They all rocking it.
For her. But these women dressed in white say the 3 children are being forgotten in this tragedy.
It's all being
absolutely
by Lindsay Clancy, okay? I don't like the fact that they're turning her into a big star. You don't
look at them.
Children, okay?
Inside court, there was a dramatic turn when a prosecution rebuttal witness spoke about Lindsay's Catholic faith and whether suicide is considered a mortal sin. The defense asked for a mistrial. It was denied. Testimony resumes tomorrow.
I'm not going to declare a mistrial at this time.
Ted Rollins is covering the sensational murder trial for Court TV. Is the jury riveted by this case?
Is she in a wheelchair?
Covering the sensational murder trial for...
Is she playing like the full-on I've gone completely crazy playbook thing? Is that what she's trying to do? She's trying to convince everyone that she's just batshit crazy. See what I mean? Listen, this is exactly what I was talking about. Is she paralyzed? Is she paralyzed? She got paralyzed from jumping out the window. I need to look more into this case. She jumped out the window. I need to look more into this. I don't even know what really happened in all this, but I think she's just from this. I don't know what it is. Her character, her demeanor, the wheelchair and everything like that. That first thing just makes me think that she's just trying to pretend, you know.
Court TV. Is the jury riveted by this case?
I think the jury is just as riveted as all of us are by this case. And now with these experts on the stand, they're dialed in. They're
trying to take herself out?
Trying to absorb something that's very complicated, and there's no real clear answer.
A witness in court says jurors have looked very engaged during these final days of testimony, taking a lot of notes.
I did see, I'm gonna have to watch a documentary or something. But I saw this earlier. I was like, oh man, this is.
When you came into the house and you were taking off your boots and putting things down, was there anything you noticed?
Yeah, the house was really quiet.
Is that unusual?
Yeah.
And when you realized it was really quiet, what did you do?
I called out.
And who did you call out to?
There's going to be so many documentaries. There's going to be Netflix documentaries. There's going to be so many documentaries. It just depends on who produces them, what kind of stance they take on it.
Everyone.
Did anyone answer?
No.
Oh, did she? Wow.
No one answered. What did you do next?
I think I don't know the order, but I called down in the basement and no one answered. And then I called Lindsay to see if she was home because I looked out and I couldn't see her car, but it's because it was dark and her car's black.
When you approached the basement door, do you remember if it was open or shut?
It was shut.
A Lifetime movie.
So did you open it and yell down?
Yeah.
And there was no response?
Correct.
You said you called Lindsay. Was that a phone call?
Yeah.
And was that at approximately 6:09 p.m.?
Yeah.
And did she answer?
No.
And so after you called Lindsay and didn't get a response, what did you do next?
I started checking upstairs.
And where did you check upstairs?
First, the bathroom. I thought maybe they were taking baths, but there's no one there.
And then where did you go?
The kids' bedrooms.
Was there anyone in the kids' bedrooms?
No.
And then did you go to your bedroom?
Yeah.
And were you able to get into your bedroom right away?
No, the door was locked, and that's when I knew something was wrong.
When you unlocked the door to your bedroom, did you go in?
Yeah.
And what did you see when you opened the door and went in?
I just saw blood everywhere, and the window was open.
And the blood that you saw, where was that located in the room?
It was everywhere. It was, it looked like it was sprayed almost.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's an ex-husband now because she killed his kids.
With like a hose, and there was a huge puddle in the middle of the room, and it was sprayed.
I saw that one too.
Pretty much every surface.
After making those observations in the bedroom, what did you do next?
I ran downstairs and went outside.
And where did you go from there?
I just looked around in the backyard below that window, and I saw Lindsay.
And where did you see her?
She was face up in the backyard.
And where in the backyard was she?
At the bottom of the window. She had deep cuts on her wrists, and she had a red line across her neck. I wasn't sure what it was at first, but she cut her neck.
Did you say anything to Lindsay when you found her in that state?
Yeah, I said, what happened?
And what was...
You know, I could not, bro, I could not imagine coming home to that. And he's probably just having like a normal day before that. And then just, I could not even imagine what it would be like, the horror of coming home to that. Your whole life just destroyed.
Her response?
She said, I tried to kill myself. I said, where are the kids?
And what was her response?
She said, they're in the basement.
And at that time, she didn't tell you that they needed help or they were in danger or they were injured, correct?
Correct.
So when you come down those stairs that night, Which direction did you go?
You know what I always notice too is when these crazy events happen, these people always got like really nice homes, nice cars. They're doing the normal American life. You know, like they got good careers, they make good money. They're always doing like they're always living the kind of life most of us dream of. And then all of a sudden, like this shit happens. Dog Mama 4, thank you for the 2. He said Patrick, her husband, had to be subpoenaed. They had to give him a subpoenas. Oh my goodness. He didn't want to come forward. I'm assuming he didn't want to come forward, or he didn't want to. I don't know. I'm gonna like see if I can find a documentary on it or something that explains what's going on here. Maybe couple. Yeah, a sub penis. Served up a sub penis.
Immediately went left.
And
He didn't want her to be charged.
I saw Cora.
Oh.
And how did she look?
She had a band around her neck.
And was that an exercise band?
Yeah.
And do you recall whether she was, what position she was in, whether face up or face down?
She's face down.
And when you saw her in that condition, what did you do?
I immediately ran over and tried to take the band off.
Were you able to get the band off?
Yeah.
And do you recall how you got the band off?
I think I untied it.
Was she responsive?
No.
And what did you see or do next?
I saw Callan.
And where was he?
He was next to her.
And how did he appear?
He had a band around his neck.
Sorry?
He had a band around his neck.
And did you remove that as well?
Yeah.
And do you recall what position he was in?
Same as Cora.
And looking at the model here, if you could just tell us, where was Cora?
The left of the couch.
So would that be this area here that I'm pointing to, in between the bureau and the couch?
Yeah.
And where was Callan?
To her left.
So would that be more over here towards the chair and the bureau?
Yeah.
After you removed the band from Callan's neck, what did you do next?
I tried to find Dawson.
And where did you go?
I looked in the bathroom and on the other side of the couch, and then I went to the other side of the basement and he was in my office.
And when you saw
man.
what condition was he in?
I knew he was gone.
And did he also have a band around his neck?
Yeah.
And did you remove that band?
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine. Yeah, his face, like you can just see, he is just.
And do you recall?
Yeah, numb. That's a good way of describing it. But just, he's trying to be strong, but he's also broken. You know, you can just see it. He's just completely broken. And rethinking that and having to talk about it. I couldn't even imagine what it would be like in that situation. The mindset, you know, you freed one kid. Now you have to think about the other two. And then by the after the second one, you know, is gone. It's like, now you're just hoping that the third one is still alive. Oh, man. Some brutal stuff, man. I'm gonna definitely look into this more. I know I've been like kind of ignoring it, but I don't know. Tonight I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and watch some videos about it, talk about it for a minute. But now it's getting crazy, and shit, man. I don't even remember when this story happened. Y'all said this happened like 3 years ago or something like that. Is the trial still going on? I mean, it has to be, right? They were just out there protesting. It's in 2023. Oh, man. Is there anything live tomorrow with this? Let me see. Oops. Oh, yeah, he rejected the mistrial thing, so that happened today. Man, anyways, I'm gonna have to do more research in this. Watch a good old fashioned documentary on it. It depends on who I get the documentary from, though, right? Too many biases, whatever you want to call it. This whole psychosis thing, though, postpartum psychosis, this is new to me. I never heard of it before until just this week. And even trying to look up studies on it, I can't find any real good information about it. It just seems like a couple people talk about it. Oh, the mother-in-law? Wow, man. Mm-mm-mm. That look of her face, though, that is a haunting look. But she used to be all smiley and bubbly until this happened. Who knows, man? I'll look more into it. I'll probably watch some of it tomorrow. Get my wife interested in it. Make her do the research for me. Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. We're talking 15 episodes, 3 seasons. Milk every second of the whole court case. She was a labor and delivery nurse? You're talking about her, Lindsay? Man. Gonna be crazy, man. Too much. I gotta make the dark times entertaining. That's what I'm good at. That's just what I am. Anyways, yeah, she was a nurse. Wow. Crazy stuff, man. I wonder if she was a liberal. Yeah, that's what we need to know. Did she have the liberalitis? Was her husband wearing a white dudes for hair shirt when this unfolded? Maybe he just came home from a Harry Balls rally. I mean, a Harris Walls rally. Oh yeah. I don't know. I'll do more research into this. Anyways, man, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. We just winging it. I love it. I just have a good time with y'all at night. I don't really plan for the show. I kind of see what's popular right now. What's people talking about. I think that's what I'm going to do for these nighttime shows. I want to talk about other things too. We got to broaden our horizons a little bit. So I think I want to use the nighttime shows to just talk about, obviously things that are important to us going on with like the politics and Donald Trump and stuff like that, and the midterms and all that. But I want to touch on other things too. We need to get to some popular culture. Don't get your wife involved in the mess. Yeah, maybe not. She might already be looking into this and know more about it than I do. But anyways, that's gonna do it for tonight, you guys. We got a morning show tomorrow, bright and early, MAGA morning show. Where are we at? Yeah, come join us in the morning, man. We got to talk about a lot of topics tomorrow. My wife might be MK Ultra, never know. Nah, she's Hispanic. She's fine. She's good. She's not a white woman. But we got lots to talk about tomorrow, man. All right, so I'm gonna have a show for y'all 8 a.m. Central in the morning. Come join me for Arturo with our coffee with Arturo. The only morning show worth watching, because I invented morning shows. There has never been a morning show other than my show ever in history. I just want y'all to know that. I also invented oxygen. Also want y'all to know that too. Anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. Y'all get some rest, and I will see you guys bright and early. Yeah. I will see you guys bright and early, man. Y'all have yourselves a great night. Thank y'all. I hope y'all had a good time. And I'll see you tomorrow, man. Let's get to it.
Somebody once asked Donald Trump, how do you handle being at the center of all of this media attention, the whirlwind around you? How do you weather the storm? And he looked up and he said, I am the storm. I am the storm.
Fading fire, I see the sky begin to fall apart. I know you're tired, but you can't keep running. Terrified, I will see you on the other side. The cancer couldn't stop, now you're buried in a box, but you can't keep running. I wanna know the way it feels. You cheated death, but now it's real. When your eyes roll back and the world turns twice.